Hi, welcome back to Create a WordPress Website. I'm Mary Kane with Blog Site Studio. So far we have installed a new theme on our WordPress install, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start building our site. Okay, here we are at the WordPress dashboard. The first thing we're going to do is don't panic. Remember that WordPress is very forgiving, it's hard to break, and when you do, your data remains safe. The second thing to do is to familiarize yourself with the dashboard navigation menu, which I liken to a chest of drawers. All of these tabs pull out a drawer, and at the top you see a lot of WordPressy stuff, including Jetpack, which has all of your setting pages. And then below that you have all of your creative stuff, data associated pages. You got your posts, media pages, comments, feedback. And then below that is appearance with everything you need to do with your layout and your appearances. Below that is the plugins, which control all kinds of functionality. The users is below that, and these are people that are going to be logging onto your site for different reasons. Tools, various things that are going to help you with the site. For some reason, backup showed up below tools. That's a plugin. And settings is going to have all of the things that control the site, all the pieces of information that are going to make the site work for you. And of course, below permalinks, you have more plugins. These are all plugin setting pages. Okay, and then below settings is the Yoast SEO. And in the future, you will see more settings for plugins appearing below this setting drawer here. Like we are moving into a new house, the first thing we need to do is start going around and turning the lights on. So we're going to start in Settings General. And on Settings General, this is all the general controls for your site, including the title, My New Site. The tagline, Just Another WordPress Site, is default. Let's call it Tutorial for Beginners. And if we don't add a logo, the site title and the tagline will be our logo. Okay, below that you've got the WordPress address and site address. These two things you don't want to touch until you make a change to your server. Or in this case, I've got my the URL is in a subdirectory of another site, and I'm going to leave it there. But if I were to say repoint a domain to this this installation, then I would be changing both of these addresses to reflect that. Otherwise, I might have a temporary address here waiting for it to be changed when the domain repoints. So don't change those two things unless you're going to be changing the server side information. Okay, then you're going to have your email address, and that address is what everything that comes into the site will talk to. And almost all the functions, unless they have another setting for an email for maybe a plugin, that email address is what the world communicates to you through. Okay, membership, you don't want people registering. Time zone, set that. Sometimes you can find your city easily. I'm on the Pacific Coast, so I am going to, let's see, no, I'm North America. Okay, I found myself in Vancouver here. And then you can set the date format as it will appear on the site and the time format. The week is going to start on Monday, and here's your language. There are many different languages you can set your site for, and WordPress continues to add more languages. Okay, so let's save those changes. Okay, the next thing we're going to check is writing. And there's not a whole lot going on in writing that we are dealing with right now. There are some custom post type information there, but we're not dealing with that yet. Now when we go to reading, that is a very important page. There's lots going on. Now this is where you decide whether your site, your home page, is going to open with your latest posts, or do you want it to be a static page like a regular website? Okay, so those are the choices. If you go with the static page, then you have to set um, a front page and a post page. And in this installation, we only have one sample page set up by WordPress by default. So what we need to do is we need to go to Pages, I don't know what that is, sample page, we don't need that. Let's just start by adding a new page, and we're going to call it Home, and we're going to publish it. If you don't publish it, it won't be seen around the site. Okay, we're going to add another one, and that's going to be called Blog. Okay, with our two new pages, we're going to go back to Reading, Settings, Reading, and we're going to set them as our static pages. So the front page will be Home, and the post page will be Blog. Alrighty, so the blog page, you can set the number of posts you want to appear. Maybe you only want maybe 6. And the syndication feed you can set as well. The syndication feed is your RSS, and that's what shoots out to different services to promote your posts. I don't know. You have a choice between showing the full text or the summary in the feed. For search engine visibility, it might be a good idea to discourage search engines from indexing your site so they don't. So in case you create a page and then delete it, the search engine won't have indexed it, and so it won't have it won't come up as a 404 error in the future. So you might want to check this, and then when you're ready to launch the site, you're going to uncheck it. And here's some messages for your followers if you use them. We'll save those changes. Okay, next up we're going to go to discussion settings. And here most of these are set by default. You can ask it to do all kinds of things, basically. Notify blogs linked to, if you want. Attempt to, anyway. Okay, on the discussion settings page, we've got all of the settings for our comments. What's important here is how you want to set, how you want to allow a commenter to comment on your site. Do you want them to fill out their name and email, like a registration type thing? Do you want them to be registered when they comment? Do you want to close your comment thread after a couple of weeks, according to this. Do you want to have threaded comments? Um, Email, do you want an email when someone posts a comment? That's a very good idea so that you can go and reply to their comment immediately. And you can hold it for moderation before, um, like here, you can say it's going to be manually approved. I would recommend that just in case any spam gets through. You want to get an email when a comment is posted, and you want to be able to manually approve it. Okay, so then you can also blacklist anyone if you like. You can have them go automatically to the trash. Here's your avatar settings. You can decide how you want your commenters to look. So go ahead and save those changes that you've decided on. Okay, the next setting page is media, and there's not a whole lot to do here at this point. This gives you the sizes for how your pictures are uploaded. They come in at least 3 different sizes: thumbnail, medium, and large. And here's something you can set all of your galleries in the tiled galleries. If you remember, we set up tiled galleries in Jetpack, but we don't need that right now. So there's really not much to do there. Let's go on to permalinks, and this one is very important. Your permalinks are everything that come after your URL. So page titles and post titles and things. This is your permalink up here. So you want to normally, it's kind of funny, often they have the plain ID number permalink set, but they don't have it this time, which is great. Most often people like the just the plain URL and then the page address structure, and that's what the default is. So that's good. This is something you have to set immediately, and it works forever. You can't change it halfway through because all of the pages that were created differently will create 404 errors. So you don't want to be messing with this later on. That's why we're doing it now. Down here we've got some optional settings to do, but we're not going to do that right now. So that's all good. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our user profile, and we're going to go to the user page and we'll see who our users are, and it's just me. And here's my email, my role as administrator, the number of posts, which is really just a default post that was placed there. We'll edit it now. Alrighty, so here we are. There's a lot of sort of visual things that you can set here. We're going to go straight down to our name. Here's our username. You cannot change it. You would have to set up a new user account to change your username. We're going to type in our name. And once we type in our name, you'll notice that it appears in display name publicly. So we're going to set it there. Also, it's a good idea for security reasons not to have a nickname that is the same as the username. So we're going to change our nickname to how's that? How are you? Because the nickname can be leaked to the public, and that means hackers can get at it. And if they take the chance that your nickname is the same as your username, then with your username they are one step closer to breaking into your site. Okay, so that's set. We've got our email set. We can put our other websites and all of our social media. there. Okay, here's where we're going to enter our biographical information, which appears at the end of the posts that you'll place. I'm going to enter a pre-prepared bio, and there it is. Now, if you want to, you can link to these other sites that you're putting in your bio, but you need to know a little bit of code. Pretty much the standard code for linking to a site, in this case, is a ref equals quotation mark http // tasting room confidential.com quotation mark closing quote, and then here closing the anchor tag as well. Okay, same with Twitter and Facebook. So you're going to have to do that manually. Next up, you can have a profile picture, and that's controlled by Gravatar. Now, the reason my picture doesn't come up is because I'm using an email that is not related to my Gravatar. But if you do use your email and it's related to a Gravatar, your profile picture will automatically pop up and it appears all over the site. Okay, you can also create a new password. WordPress now, since version 4.3, offers this password generator to give you a very strong password. You can use it or type in your own and make it very strong, and lots of numbers and some grammar. All right, and then there's even some information for Yoast on this page, but we will do that right now. We're just going to update our profile real quick. Okay. Okay, so we're moving into our new site, and this is how it looks from the front. Only we can see it because the maintenance mode is on. So what we've got is a blank page because we are set for a static site, which is a regular kind of business website style. We have some things in our menu, the blog, the home, and sample page. So what we're going to do next is establish some identity and place a logo in the header. And we're going to do that by going to the back end and going to customize. Now, some premium themes will have whole sections called theme options, where you can make some customizations for that particular site. Free themes often use the customizer to offer theme options. So here we have what ColorMag offers. Your site identity is here. Here's your site title and tagline. And you can also place a little favicon, a site icon, which goes up here in your right next to your URL, which might be a little image or logo bit. So let's see. We can also do colors, header image. We can put an image on the header or in the background. We can play with our menus, which we'll do next. We got widgets, the front page. And now we're going to mess with the header options. And to place a logo, we're going to go to Logo. We're going to select an image from our hard drive. And this is how we're going to upload images. As usual, there's several ways to do it. Here's my new site logo. It's about 600 pixels wide. Sometimes you'll need to play with the size of the logo depending on the theme. So let's go ahead and upload that. And there it is. I've got it set for header logo only, or you can show both, or disable. But we just want to have the logo only, and that's how it's going to look. All right, the next thing we're going to do is set up our menus. And to do that, we're going to back up a couple of steps and go here to menus. And for one thing, they've got menu locations. This theme only supports one menu, which is right here. And so there's really no choice on where to put it. You can, we don't really have a menu established yet. So we're going to add a menu, and we're going to call it New Menu. Really creative there. Okay, so we've got our new menu, and we are going to establish it in the primary menu section. See, it's gone because we haven't added any items to it. Okay, once we've named a new menu and given it a location, we're going to add items to it. Now, in this menu, we've got custom links, which go to the outside of your site. We've got posts, those are already published. Everything here has to be published to appear. We've got our two home pages and our sample and blog page. And we've got categories, which we haven't covered yet, but we will. So for now, we're just going to add our pages. And let's see, we're going to put our home page, our blog page, and our sample page. And here they are, and they will appear immediately right there on the view. So we can save that. Of course, the menu items are going to be live right away because all the pages are published. And that's how you set up your menus. Now, all of this can be done as well in the appearance section. You have there's a separate menu section which is a little more involved, and you can add all kinds of extra information. You can also set it to automatically add new pages to the menu. Now, one fun thing that you can do on this menu page, which is the main WordPress menu page, is create a drop-down menu. So if you want any of these items to appear under the other, let's say you want sample page to appear under the blog as a drop-down from the blog page, all you have to do is move it to the right. It's a drag and drop interface, so all you have to do is move things around. You can make 3 levels, and if you save that and then look at it on the front of the site after you refresh the front, you'll see there's a one tab and then 2 sub-tabs. So that's how we created that. Otherwise, we could set it this way, and it will appear like this. Another fun thing to know about menus is that you can open the menu item and you can change the label on the item. In fact, maybe you want to have, let's see, instead of blog, maybe we want to have news. Okay, but it's still showing that the original page is your blog page. So, oops, news. So that's another fun thing you can do with your menus. Okay, we're going to dive right into it right now by creating a new page. We're going to populate our home page. Now, I have to stress that there's almost always 2 ways of approaching something in WordPress. Now you can, to go to your home page, you can either go to Pages, select All Pages, and click on Home, Front Page. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Now, if you look at the front end of your site, at the very top there's a menu, and one of the menu items is Edit Page. So you can go from the front to the back of your site easily by clicking on Edit Page in the on the front end of the site. So that's just a handy workflow tip for you. All right, so here is your basic WordPress edit page. It looks the same everywhere, and what we've got showing is our title, our edit box, our publishing box, page attributes, and then if you scroll down, we've got our Yoast SEO. We are not going to deal with that just yet. And we've got layouts we can choose from, and sharing. So that's what's apparent right off the bat. Now I have to stress another point, and that is it's important to check this screen options. If you open that box, these are all the things that are available to you as settings on your on this particular page. Now, screen options appear all over WordPress, so it's a good idea to check them everywhere. We were back at menus. We could have checked our screen options there and brought down more things that we could add as menu items. These are all things that we can add to this edit page, such as excerpt, custom fields, discussion, comments, slug, author. Now, if you go down, here they all are. So it's important, very, very important, to keep an eye on your screen options because you might be missing out on something. Okay, so we've already got our title for the page. We don't need to do anything there. It's already published. We can see in the published section. Here's where you might want to make it a draft and unpublish it. You can also play with the visibility. You can make it password protected. You can make it private. You can, here you can set a date to schedule the launch of the post. So you might, this is a good tip for preventing yourself from accidentally publishing it ahead of time. So if you want to remove the ability to just publish right off the bat, you can set a date in the future. You would go OK, and then here it would say schedule, and you would hit schedule. And let's see, a few more things down here. You can set a parent page, which is a good idea. We'll get into parent pages and funneling later. But if you wanted another page to lead into this page, which you don't because it's a home page, but that's where you would set it. You've got a couple of different templates here, but down below you've got layouts, and the layouts will, like for instance, we could take away the sidebar, and let's try that. Since it's the home page, we don't really need a sidebar on a home page, and so we'll check that. Okay, so let's update that. Constantly update your work and save it. If you don't save it, WordPress will auto-save for you, and that way you can be assured that if it logs you out or for some reason you move away from the page, there will be a last saved version for you. Okay, now we're going to start adding some text to the page. But before we do that, let's just quickly go over the formatting tools here. There aren't that many, but if we hit this toolbar toggle icon, it'll bring up more formatting tools. which are very important. Most of them are self-explanatory, and if you hover over, you can find out what they do. I should note here are your heading tags. Most everything will appear in paragraph until you set it as a heading, which is always a good thing to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to merely paste in some text, and I've already copied some text from a Pages page, and we are just going to paste it in. It's lorem ipsum. All right, so we are going to use this first line as our first subheading. We're not going to give it heading 1, we are going to give it heading 2 because home is our heading 1 and we don't want to usurp our heading for that page. So we want to use heading 2 and we're going to put that there. All you have to do is click on the line. The way headings work is they need to go in the order that they're presented for a reason, and search engines like headings because headings give them the index more information, but you have to go in order. You can't just be jumping around. You can't go from heading 2 to heading 4 just because you like the size of the type. You have to go heading 2 to heading 3 to heading 4 and then back to heading 2 and then 3 and 4 and 5 in that order. So no jumping around. So if this heading is heading 2, we're going to make this one heading 3. We just need to click on the line and it will change. We'll make this one heading 4. And then we're going to go back to heading 2 because it's the next largest question. So once you've set up your headings, you can play with the alignment. This is flush left, this is centered, this is flush right. Most things are flush left, but maybe on your home page you want it centered. Who knows? Okay, the next thing we're going to do is add a photo. Maybe we'll add it there. This particular theme offers a featured image, or you can put the image in the page. A quick description of what a featured image is. It's like the book cover for your page. Featured images travel around the site and they will accompany the page wherever it goes. If your picture goes on the page, it's just going to stay there. So there won't be anything more for it to do when it gets there. Okay, first of all, we're going to import an image, and I'm going to choose David Bowie. And the view you're seeing, this is the Media Manager. As you can see, you can either insert media, you can create a gallery, or you can set the image as a featured image. Now we're going to do both so we can see how they appear. So we are going to insert the media on the page. To the right you can see the size of in pixels and in kilobytes, and the date. Here's the title, which is fine as it is. It's a good idea to set descriptive titles for your images, and then for SEO's sake you want to have titles in the alt text and in the description. If you want to, you can fill in the caption and give more information on the page. Below is the attachment settings. You can have it centered, left, right, or none. And you can set a link to it. Let's just attach it to the page. And you can set a size. Like I said, WordPress will upload images in at least 3 or maybe 4 sizes. And so in this case we're going to make it large and we're going to insert it into the page. Boom, there it is. So to take a quick look at it before we save it or after, you can hit Preview Changes, and in Chrome a new tab will pop up, and there is our home page. Full width, no sidebar, centered with some headings, and we may not want, you really may not want to have the home page screaming home, because everybody knows it's your home page. So it is okay to delete the title of the home page so that it doesn't it's kind of redundant to say it's home. Okay, the next thing we can do is let's try setting the featured image. Now, of course, again, two ways of doing everything. You can set the featured image here or in the Media Manager we were just in. In this case, it is only going to set the featured image. So let's click on it and set it. Okay, now we're going to see where that featured image appears. It may appear on the page or it may not. And it looks like it will not. So what that featured image will do is just travel with the page itself, so that it's the page is represented by that featured image. Now here we see that our home page is gone. We eliminated the title, but to fix that you can go to Menus, and you can actually go in and change that title so that the menu still says home even though the page does not. Okay, there it is. Okay, so here is our new page. Okay, in the last portion of this step, we are going to talk about sidebars, and you'll see the sidebar right here on our sample page, which is a page, and we don't really like this sidebar, so this is all the default widgets that WordPress will place on your new install. So we're going to change those. Now the way we change our widgets is I prefer the WordPress page. You can go into Customizer and change your widgets, but I prefer this method because it has more options. So here's what's available to you right out of the box. All of these widgets in these two columns are available, and basically we have a right sidebar, we have a left sidebar, we have a header sidebar, we have a front page, all kinds of areas on the front page, and we have a contact page sidebar, error page, advertisement, above the footer, as well as 4 footer sidebars. So there's a lot of places to put extra stuff on this website, in this theme. And so we're going to start. Here are the widgets that I really don't like. So we're going to start by deleting them. That's how you do it. They don't have any content in them, so they're not really worth saving. All right, we're going to start placing some of my favorite widgets. Of course, the best one, the most versatile widget, is the text widget. So we click on it, we're going to click right sidebar and add widget, and then it appears right here in the right sidebar. I'm going to add my bio. We're going to grab a title and put it in there, and then we're going to save that. Now when we go to our front of the site, we refresh the page, and boom, there is that widget right there telling my story. Okay, then well, we can close that right there. Another valuable widget is the search which is creates a search bar for your site. Search my new site. So that's a good one. Another good widget is recent posts. So when you start posting, your posts will appear on the side. Let's say it's new posts, and we're setting it for, oh, let's just have 3. How about that? And we'll display the post date. Another thing you can put in a sidebar is a custom menu, and those appear right here. Now, you have to have menus, and in this case, we only have one. It's the new menu. Give it a title. Can't type today. Save that. Okay, Jetpack also provides some widgets, and they are denoted with the inside the parentheses there. So one of them that's good is the Facebook page plugin. So we're going to add that, and you need to add your URL to that. Give it a title. You can set the widths. You can show the faces, show the stream. Let's just show everything and save. Okay, let's go to the front end and see how our sidebar looks now. There's me, the search bar, posts, on-site, and my Facebook. It's all there. Very cool.